I think thumbnail designers or other freelancers are some of the least protected from scams, because they mostly work without a contract and other things that could protect them. Unless of course you are working through an intermediary in the form of an exchange. I, myself included, have encountered unpleasant situations in the form of being scammed for money. This has happened more than once and more than twice, and even from large clients with a large number of subscribers, from whom it would seem such a clearly do not expect. With this video I would like to protect you from such a fate, so that you realize that it can happen to anyone, and that you in the future were ready and did not make the same mistakes that I made or other designer or those who sell any services on the internet. Just recently, because of this, by the way, I decided to record this video. There are times when you do a mailing and you get a response after a few months or even a year. So I got a response a few months later, and here's the message I got. First of all, there are already some points here for me that indicate that it's better to charge money when you're starting out. A little digression. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to offend anyone or show my superiority over others. By no means. I just want to say that you need to respect yourself and your time. I hope this doesn't sound rude or anything like that. Anyway, what I wanted to say is this. He wrote this to me on Sunday. Most people have Sunday off. I know some people have Saturday off and Sunday is the first day of the week. I understand that the person who wrote to me may have had a working day. Okay, let's say. But the first thing we see is that he needs the thumbnail today. He texted me at 4 p.m. That leaves a few hours of the evening. So by this person's logic I should drop everything I'm doing and do what he's asking. It seems as if I am a dog and a bone has been thrown to me, as if he is my master, and of course I will immediately throw myself on that bone. This may be a funny and absurd example, but that's what it seems to me. He sent me a picture of himself and an example of a thumbnail. As I realized he wanted something similar. Looking a little ahead, I will say that he wanted an exact replica. I also don't want to show his channel or his face. Yes, the right thing to do would be to show this character to you so you realize that he can cheat for money, and that's why it's best not to work with him. But I still don't want to take that responsibility and ruin his reputation somehow. I'm not interested in that. I think his karma will punish him. I don't want to be in that role. He also wrote the following below. This is the second call for me that it's better here you have to take the money at the beginning. These are conclusions purely from my experience. Getting a little ahead of myself, experience has not failed me. I have worked with many people and my experience tells me that in this situation it's better to be reinsured. But why? Well, because he might not like my work. He wrote if he liked my work, but what if he didn't? I don't know what's going on in his head. I don't want to waste time on this. But why did I take the job and where is my mistake? To begin with, I looked at his channel. In general, the video quality was not bad. There are not many subscribers, about 30,000, but 500,000 subscribers in Instagram, which played a big role. Besides, the title of the video says that this guy earned $500,000, and so I still decided to do the work first, without additional payment. I thought that there was simply no point in deceiving anyone with such an audience, but this turned out to be a mistake. It was also a mistake to do the work urgently, without any additional payment for urgency. I replied to him a half hour after he emailed me. I wrote him back, okay, I'll do that, but by that I explained it to him how I work. That is still better to write me about an order at least 1 day in advance and preferably 2 days in advance. I think this is quite optimal. At least you can schedule some kind of day off. I also indicated the price, how much my work will cost. I waited for an hour. I think this time should have been enough for him to see the message and respond to it, especially since thumbnail is needed in the evening. That is literally in a few hours. I never received a reply and I thought, well, maybe the person is busy. Maybe he read the message and did not reply and agreed. Maybe he forgot to reply. I thought that he had money to pay, and I don't think that the price I gave him would be that much for him, considering that he invests this money in his business. In a normal situation, I would have waited to hear back from him first and take the money in the beginning. I don't know why I agreed. Really, a lot of factors came into play. In the end, I did him the job. I did it quickly and efficiently, literally in 1 hour, which is still stupid because you should charge twice as much for urgency. I emailed him the next day. The video, by the way, never came out that night. I didn't get a response, as you can imagine, and in general I accepted it and did not get upset, just laughed at the situation. A few days later I decided to remind about myself again, but when I went to his channel I saw that the video still came out, but it came out with a different thumbnail, and the thumbnail looked like an exact copy of the example he sent me. And it turns out a funny situation. Either he wrote to several designers beforehand and ordered a thumbnail from each of them, or he just didn't like my work and ordered from someone else. But then why did he not write to me directly but said, feel free to experiment and try some of your ideas? It's very funny, really. Why not just say directly what you want? What is this game for? But maybe he wrote to several designers at once and decided to pick the best work, but he didn't tell me about this so-called contest. For some reason he decided it was the right thing to do. Why does someone think it is normal to order something from several people and choose one thing without telling me about it? I mean, he knew he'd cheat everyone else and only pay one. In fact, such people are not few. I see such a situation not for the first time. Okay, you could have warned them about it, no problem. But why cheat someone out of money? That's just absurd, that's crazy. Or maybe he doesn't know anything. There are a lot of people like that. There is a huge number of them. So what conclusion can you draw from this story? Well, first of all, you need to develop your personal brand, which I've talked about many times, but I haven't released a video in 2 months. You need to have credibility and charge money up front with your work, just to ensure yourself. You will be 100% protected from scams if you take money in the beginning. This is the basis, dear friends. This is the truth. There are times when even people you've been working with for a year or more may simply not pay you. And you don't have to run out and do the work right away. It's important to set the framework in which you work. You have to respect yourself and value your time. And always get all the details right if the client doesn't. In fact, the client almost always knows what they want. They just don't talk about it for some reason.